Hey, thanks for coming back for another Mobile Monday. In this week's video, we are taking a look at the PA Bible app from Marked Software. I'd never heard of this before until Andrew Black, ablack_23 on Instagram, replied to the post I put up on the last Mobile Monday and told me that he'd been using this software recently. It looks like it hasn't been updated in about a year, and the reviews kind of tell the story. But the idea here is here we go. PA Bible is the instant reference guide for any sound engineer. I don't know about that. Technical specifications for hundreds of loudspeakers compiled into one simple, easy-to-use app. Data stored in the cloud, meaning they can add speakers easily, although the reviews, again, would say that that doesn't really happen recently. All loudspeakers are shown with a picture for easy reference. This app is, this app is 36 megabytes. You can reduce the download size by not downloading the pictures of the speakers. You can either choose to download those or access them using your data or Wi-Fi each time you use the app. And this is obviously available for iPhone or iPad. I haven't used it on the iPhone yet. There's a comparison view, so you can choose two speakers on the iPad version and compare their details. They also have a speaker interval calculator. We'll take a look at that. And then so far, the included manufacturers. And I noticed from one of the reviews here that they are missing a few manufacturers. And you go back up and yeah, there's no QSC. There is no Mackie Thump apparently. Yamaha's powered speakers aren't there. Nexo is, but not Yamaha's stuff. So it's not really a complete list. And then there's some stuff on here that some folks have probably never even heard of. So it's just an unusual arrangement. You throw Mackie in there and it's like, okay, well, why aren't you including QSC and stuff like that? So let's go ahead and download it and see what happens. I have downloaded it before on this device just to make sure it functions on the iPad before I shot this video. But that's about it. Let's take a look here. So it's setting up. It says removing old data, importing new, loading. Now it's loading data apparently. I just downloaded this app. Remember that. I did just download this. Wow, this takes time. Okay, complete. Download the images now. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to download all the images. So you can choose which one to download, or you can just, okay, let's just download them all, okay? Let's see what goes on here. So I can see an app like this being useful if you are a touring engineer, or if you work in a house venue. If you work anywhere where you deal with other folks in the industry bringing equipment in, requesting equipment, or if you work in anywhere where you rent in equipment, just having all of this stuff right in one place is really handy. You know, the amount of times I've had people just offhandedly say, yeah, we're touring with this, that, and the other, or yeah, we really need to have this model subwoofer specifically, or this box. And I don't know all these manufacturers' speakers. I certainly don't know the specs offhand, and it could be really handy to have this rather than having to look them up. A lot of times I just search for the manual, the PDF manual, and you can find the specs that way. But yeah, having a single app to do this does seem like an attractive option for sure. It's something I would definitely use. So this is now minutes for what was allegedly a 36 megabyte app. That's getting hard to believe now. Okay, so that's done. That took a few minutes there. Let's go see, actually. PA Bible. Ooh, so that turned out to be 527 megabytes. Whoops, that's audible. 527 megabytes. So the app size was 36.1 megabytes, and then everything else that it actually needs is 491 megabytes. That's kind of annoying. Okay, so we're back on the main page, and let's take a look at what this does. So this is the comparison screen on the iPad where you can pick something from each manufacturer and compare the two. So let's go and look at something like let's look at like an EAW. See what they got in EAW's inventory here. Here we go. So let's look at a Microwedge 12, and let's compare that to like a Claire 12 a.m., right? So here's all of our specs. So we've got a really easy place for if you had a phone call from somebody, a tour, or somebody that's looking, hey, we're used to having Claire speakers and you've only got micro edge in-house or vice versa, and you want to send them a quick list of the specs, you could definitely screenshot this pretty easily. That's very helpful. And you get everything you would probably need to assess these speakers. Now, obviously, these are two of the most popular speakers in the industry, but if it was something you were unfamiliar with, this could be really helpful. So let's just go down and take a look. We've got frequency range, whether or not they're powered. These are obviously both passive. The dispersion on the horizontal plane, the vertical plane dispersion, driver information, the size of the driver and the configuration, max SPL, power handling, impedance. Obviously, some of these fields are not going to be populated, and that's kind of a running issue with this app that I saw in the reviews, is that it doesn't look like it's been updated in a long time, and there's no real way to request or add those updates as a user. Let's keep going. We've got signal input, how you get signal in. You can see here it's an NL4 versus EP4. The pin out here is listed if it's available, it looks like. Let's see, everything else here is 1-for-1. Driver info doesn't show up on this side. So yeah, we end up with a little, that's kind of annoying that instead of just not populating the categories that aren't there, so that these, what I would like to see is that these match up 1-to-1, and if there's nothing for that side, just put NA or something. But this, it starts to get staggered. I mean, it's just annoying. You gotta, if you were to try to take a screenshot like I just suggested, now you've got things like rigging, and there's no rigging on this one. So yeah, that's kind of annoying that they didn't just leave a standard set of categories for you to look through. But that's pretty much the whole speaker section. You choose a speaker, you look at the specs. That's it. You compare it to another speaker. So very simple, but kind of frustrating. Now in tools, we have the speaker interval calculator, and we could put in a number of speakers we want to use. Yeah, there we go. So say we wanted to put 6 speakers across the front of a stage, for instance, and then input distance from the center line. So we want the distance from the center line to the furthest speaker. So on a, say a 60-foot wide stage, that would be 30 feet from the center line over to the furthest right speaker. And then that would give us our positioning of 12 foot on center for those speakers. And that could be helpful. I'm not sure how often you would actually use this. Most of the time we're placing things like front fill speakers. It's at the mercy of what space is available on the front lip and what decor or production or whoever else is handling that wants to allow us to put down there, the matter of a foot here or there. Like a lot of times we just have to work with what's available. Now that next button does not, I don't know what the hell that does. Okay. And then that's it. That's the whole Bible. You can contact them by contacting them here. And let's look at the disclaimer. The app to be considered a guide only. Mark Software does not have an affiliation with any of these companies. All the data has been collected from those companies, so on and so forth. There are some gaps in the data. All of the data has been transcribed by hand, and while every effort has been taken to avoid error, there are over 2,000 loudspeakers documented so far, and there's a margin for human error. Please use your own judgment if using data from the app. Please be advised that there are many different standards for measuring power handling. If you're unsure about power ratings for any loudspeaker, please check the manufacturer's data sheet. But yeah, that's something that would be really, I would think, easy to implement. Like if I was in here in Claire's 12 a.m., I'd love it if there was just a link. I don't know what that's supposed to do. That's completely unnecessary, but a link to their website where you could actually get the real manual or PDF or spec sheet or even just the product page would be hugely more helpful. So that's it. That's the PA Bible. If you hate it, oh well. I don't hate it. I'm definitely going to keep it. I'm going to use it. I'll probably offline all of the images again. And I don't know if I will actually keep it. 500 megabytes is crazy for the functionality. This is a convenience. This isn't something that I'd be willing to give up that much space. I mean, on my phone or iPad, it makes no difference really, but 500 megabytes is a little absurd. But that's it. Thanks for watching another Mobile Monday, and I will be back later in the week with another exciting video.